Take a few deep breaths and allow the breath to wash through the body. Take a posture that's comfortable, preferably one in which your knees are lower than your hips. Keep breathing through the heart, releasing any sense of pressure in the heart or the upper body. If there's any pressure in the head, try and just breathe through that pressure. Just feel the groundedness, the weight in the legs, and feel that pressure release in the head. Buddha gave a wonderful teaching once to a monk to a layperson by the name of Mogaraja very early on. He asked him how not to be seen by the Lord of Death. In other words, how not to die. And the Buddha's answer was Sunyato Loko Avikaso. Contemplate the world as empty. And that's not just the world is empty, but Buddha reminded him that you do that by seeing that there's only a view of a self, only a construction of a self. Those two go together, seeing the world as empty, seeing the deathless. And not fabricating a view of self. Give us a concrete idea while we're meditating. You can imagine someone coming in and picking up books on the shelves here, walking off with them. In Buddha's day, they would have been out under trees and someone had just picked up all the twigs that had fallen and bundled them. And he said, would you scream if people came and took the twigs away? He said, no, of course not. He wouldn't kick and scream, fight if they took the twigs, the dead twigs that had fallen. He said, then why do you kick and scream at death when this body is being taken from you? It's this idea, this notion, I am the body, that causes suffering. See the world as empty, to not adopt a view of self is to drop the idea that I am the body. pour our life into the volume of the body. We spend our whole life trying to see our life as in the confines of this body, and then when it starts to get sick and ill and ready to die, it's difficult at that time to meditate, to see that we've been pouring our life into the wrong place. We've been seeing life in the wrong space. We should look that emptiness, to that not belonging, the wisdom of not self. I've had near-death experiences, and they were very different than the ones that I read about. When I read about them, people say they have out-of-body experiences. Well, really just contemplate this body right now on direct evidence. Is it outside of this awareness that's looking at it? Isn't this awareness, isn't it peripheral to that view? Aren't we always having an out-of-body experience? Seems to me that's the case. Awareness is always on the outside, looking through the body, through sensation. Seems to me that when people are reporting out-of-body experiences, they're just finally seeing reality. Were you ever really in the breath, in the body? Or we just identify with an image that we've been told once when we were a little child in the mirror? That's you, that's little you. You grow up holding an image in your mind of you. Even that image is on the outside. It's peripheral to the deathless nature on the inside. So we stop reaching the things that won't sustain us. Keep jumping into things, pretending we can jump into things that don't last. What dies if that's the case? If we're always outside the body, our true nature is external, just near. what or who dies when this body dies. What was there before this body was born? We superimpose some structure on top of an empty core. We built more impermanent things on top of that. Starting with a face. Oh, that's my face. Oh, that's my body. There's some amount of disassociation we do, but it's only because it's natural to true seeing, to true reality as it presents itself. One present evidence is this body truly internal? Is everything really only contained in this body? Or is there a dimension that just happens to include an experience on the outside of a body, with thoughts of that body, perceptions of that body? So just like the twigs in the Buddha's analogy, they're nothing to get upset over. When they get carted away, we find micro deaths going on right in the sensations of the breath. It's an arising of sensation, a bubbling, frizzling, popping, dynamic, constantly changing sensory field. Really listen to it. It's constantly appearing and disappearing. Listen with your whole body, the impermanent popping and arising and disappearing of sensation. There's nothing to cling to there. There's no substance. The body, the Buddha said in our last retreat, is like foam, just bubbles popping, not lasting. Sensation too, like bubbles popping even faster. Perceptions are just mirages. They pull you in and pull you in and pull you in until you're lost and thirsty. And you die. You got drawn in so far for nothing. It's just a mirage. Your face, your memories. Come back to where you are, where you truly are. The body on the outside, where it belongs. It's not disassociated. It's in its correct position. It's an opportunity. Where's the where's the me there in the breath? Is it that warmth and the sensation? How could it be? The length of the sensation? How could it be? You can control a little bit in the length of the breath, not a lot. You can't control the breath, you can't stop it. Each breath depends on the other. You can't identify with an out breath. So the out breath wouldn't make sense without the next in breath, and then the out breath is gone. And there's a new in breath. Death and birth, rising and disappearing. They're so interconnected. There's no one pulling the switches. It's what so one identity and control. It's just happening. I invite you to investigate these micro deaths in the breath. And those who wish to, you can contemplate this body, this Robert, lying on the floor, dying. Contemplate his body in a state of decay after a couple days, bluish and bloated. So a little more time, worms and other things begin to eat it. Things oozing out of it. Animals coming to eat it. After a while, there's just little blood and bones and tendons. Sun begins to whiten the bones. There's nothing but a skeleton left, the tendon still on. A few blood stains left on the bones. More time, the bones whiten, the tendons break. Animals come and eat the bones, scatter them, so you have a skull here, a foot there, a hand there. till the bones are almost unrecognizable. Some white dust left on the earth. The wind and the rain comes and blows and carries it away. Till there's nothing left. We have to make our provisions, our mind safe. We do that by letting go, not by getting something. It's waking up to the true nature of reality. Surrender. We're in the neighborhood of nirvana, and we're heedful, mindful, passing of time. Devoted to developing our mindfulness of the deathless nature Our birthright is to be free. Our natural state is freedom. Not to get caught up in this world that thinks it can solve problems by controlling things and clinging to things. Keep turning the gaze 180 degrees around. It's not in the world that we find salvation, death and suffering. Freedom is an inside job for all of us to investigate exactly where the world ends. It's not on the outside, it's on the inside. There's no footing there. It's just an arising of this and a passing of that. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.